Greatness is not always bestowed upon the strong. Sometimes they are born with a cough, a fever, and a destiny of which they remain unaware. Gaius Octavius was born in 63 BC in the city of Rome, to a family that was modest yet esteemed. His lineage traced back to the ancient plebeian clan of the Octavii, and through his mother, Attia, he was a distant relative of Julius Caesar, being his grandnephew. From an early age, Octavian was a frail child. Sources indicate that he lacked physical endurance and did not distinguish himself in military pursuits. Nonetheless, from his youth, he displayed remarkable mental composure and strategic acumen. He was weak in body, yet strong in spirit, silent yet observant. At just 12 years old, he made his first public appearance, delivering a eulogy for his grandmother Julia, sister of Caesar. It is said that even at that tender age, he spoke with clarity, precision, and without excessive emotion. He did not seek to be ostentatious, rather, he aspired to be indispensable. Then comes the year 44 BC. Octavian is 18 years old, positioned in Illyria, preparing for a military campaign. Sudden tidings arrive. Caesar has been assassinated. Everything changes. Octavian swiftly returns to Rome. He is not hurried. He does not cry out for vengeance. Instead, he seeks to uncover the details. Then, the will is revealed. In it lies a shock for all. Julius Caesar names not generals or politicians, but this youth, Gaius Octavius, as his adopted son and sole heir. From that moment on, he becomes Gaius Julius Caesar Octavian. This was not merely a formal gesture. The name of Caesar represents a brand, authority, legions, and the love of the people. Octavian accepts it not just as a name, but as a mission, a purpose. Yet the problem lies in the fact that Rome teetered on the brink of a new civil war. Following Caesar's assassination, uncertainty loomed. The conspirators, Brutus and Cassius, viewed themselves as saviors of the Republic. Mark Antony, Caesar's former ally, endeavored to maintain power while playing to the public. And what of the young Octavian? He was dismissed as a serious threat by all. However, he was already initiating his own strategy. He operated not through force, but through alliances. Not through words, but through silence. He dispensed money to veterans, as Caesar had bequeathed. He attracted legions, leveraging the name and image of the slain dictator. He was not Caesar. He was the cold shadow of Caesar, and soon that shadow would envelop Rome. The young man, whom none regarded as a threat, had already begun to forge a path to power. And on this path there would be blood, betrayal, and the conclusion of an entire era. What lay ahead was war, and not just one. Rome mourns, but Rome also thirsts for vengeance. Caesar is dead, yet his name endures, and henceforth this name will be spoken by another, Gaius Julius Caesar Octavian. Thus, in the spring of 44 BC, Octavian returns to Rome. The city is in turmoil. The populace is terrified. The senators are in a state of panic, and the streets are rife with rumors and fear. Following Julius Caesar's assassination, authority in the city becomes non-existent. The conspirators, Brutus, Cassius, and their supporters, naively believe that by eliminating the dictator, they have saved the Republic. But they are gravely mistaken. The people are not rejoicing, they are enraged. Caesar was beloved. His will bequeathed money to every Roman citizen. His name symbolizes stability. And now that name belongs to Octavian. He does not seize power with a sword. He approaches with intellect. First, he organizes a public reception. He announces that he adopts the name of Caesar. He orchestrates the distribution of money according to the will. Most importantly, he avoids direct conflict with Mark Antony. He does not attack. he lures. Meanwhile, Mark Antony begins to behave like Caesar's successor. He commands the army, demands respect, and presents himself in the Senate as the new leader. He is charismatic, popular, and dangerous. Yet he commits one grave error. He underestimates Octavian, and Octavian acts. He appeals to the Senate. He finds support among Antony's adversaries. He mobilizes troops, officially without orders, but with the tacit consent of the senators. He is not merely a youth, he is a young Caesar, and this strategy bears fruit. Conflict becomes inevitable. In 43 BC, Octavian's army confronts Antony's forces near the city of Mutina. Octavian triumphs. Antony retreats, but this is not yet the end. The Senate, content with the victory, seeks to marginalize Octavian, to grant him accolades but deny him power. They forget the foremost truth. He is not a servant. He is a player. Octavian turns his forces toward Rome. He enters the city without bloodshed. The Senate capitulates. Then comes the unexpected. Instead of seizing power unilaterally, Octavian allies himself with Mark Antony and another general, Lepidus. Thus, the second triumvirate is born. Their official aim is to avenge Caesar's murderers. In practice, 3 men share power in Rome. They attain the legal right to rule for 5 years. They compile proscription lists of enemies condemned to death. Blood flows in the streets. One of the slain is the orator Cicero, who had openly opposed Antony. This was the price for power. Octavian paid it. Old Rome is dying. In its place, something new is being born, harsh, merciless, and pragmatic. The youth, once dismissed as inconsequential, now stands as one of the 3 rulers of the world. But 3 is too many for one throne. Soon, a new war will commence. They say 2 is a company, but 3 is already a crowd. But what if that crowd rules the world? After the bloody purges of the second triumvirate, Rome seems to hold its breath. Brutus and Cassius are dead, their armies defeated at Philippi. The Republic is, for all intents and purposes, destroyed. Yet from its ruins arises not an empire, but a fragile alliance of 3 ambitious men, Octavian, Antony, and Lepidus. Their only bond is a shared victory, but friendship is absent. Only calculation remains. They divide the territories. Lepidus is allotted Africa. Antony takes the east, including the wealthy Egypt. Octavian receives Italy, Gaul, and Spain, the heart of the empire. This arrangement appears just, but as one can anticipate, it cannot last long. Lepidus, the weakest of the trio, is soon removed from the game. He attempts to assert himself, but Octavian quietly eliminates him, without bloodshed, merely through political maneuvering. Lepidus is sent into honorable exile. Now only 2 remain. And here begins the true drama. Antony delves deeper into the east, both literally and figuratively. He resides in Alexandria, increasingly absent from Rome. Moreover, he is ever closer to the Queen of Egypt, Cleopatra VII. History repeats itself. Just as Julius Caesar once succumbed to the allure of this powerful woman, Antony now falls under her spell. Yet whereas for Caesar it was a romance, for Antony it is an alliance, politically, militarily, and romantically. Octavian anticipates this. He does not strike. He observes. He gathers compromising evidence, letters, rumors, stories. Then he launches the most powerful propaganda campaign of antiquity. Antony has betrayed Rome. He worships a barbarian. He calls himself Dionysus and her Isis. He wishes to relocate the capital to Egypt. And most damningly, he has bestowed royal titles upon his children with Cleopatra. He has publicly humiliated Roman traditions. To the people, this is treason. In 32 BC, Octavian makes his move. He secures Antony's will. Reports suggest he even steals it from the Temple of Vesta and reads it before the Senate. Rome is in shock. The populace's fury swiftly escalates. The outcome is war, but not between Octavian and Antony. Officially, Rome declares war on Egypt. In truth, it is the decisive clash of two titans, Octavian versus Antony, West versus East, Republic versus Kingdom. They were allies. They avenged together, but now only two remain from the second triumvirate. One of them must perish. Ahead lies the decisive battle, and a sea filled with ships. Empires seldom die with a thunderclap. More often they succumb with a wave of the Mediterranean Sea off the shores of Greece, where the fate of the world was decided. 31 BC. Setting, the western coast of Greece, Cape Actium. On one side stands the fleet of Antony and Cleopatra, vast yet bloated and disorganized, adorned with Egyptian exoticism and royal pomp. On the other lies Octavian's fleet, smaller in number but better prepared under the command of the skilled naval commander, Agrippa. Antony luxuriates. Octavian calculates, and the sea lies between them. At first, tension prevails. The ships close in, and a classic naval battle ensues, rams boarding catapults. But suddenly, Cleopatra turns her fleet around and withdraws. Yes, right in the midst of the fight. The reason remains unknown to this day. Did she fear for her life? Was it a premeditated maneuver? The mystery remains buried beneath the waves. Antony, witnessing his queen's retreat, abandons the fight and pursues her. He forsakes his army, his fleet, and his allies. This is it. Octavian claims victory. Antony's fleet is obliterated. His troops surrender. He and Cleopatra flee to Egypt, but their days are numbered. Octavian is in no hurry. He methodically approaches Alexandria. With each step, resistance wanes. No one wishes to die for the defeated. And now we reach the climax. Antony, receiving false news of Cleopatra's death, attempts to take his own life with a sword. His demise is not immediate. Cleopatra finds him still alive. He dies in her arms. The last queen of Egypt still seeks to negotiate with Octavian, but he remains calm, icy, and unyielding. Cleopatra chooses death. It is said that she allowed a venomous asp to bite her. Thus ends the Ptolemaic dynasty. Thus concludes Egypt as an independent state. And then the moment arrives. Octavian enters Alexandria without a fight, as a new king, a new pharaoh. But he is not a king. He is a Caesar. With the last crashing wave at Actium, not only did a war come to an end, but an era concluded. The Republic lies dead. The name once borne by the slain dictator now belongs to the sole master of the world. The name is Caesar. The man is Octavian. It remains only to formally legitimize what has already become a reality. He came to power not as a king, not as a usurper. He came as a savior. He did not destroy the Republic. He renamed it. After his victory in Egypt, Octavian is the sole ruler of Rome. In his possession are the army, the fleet, the treasures of Egypt, and the people's support. He could proclaim himself king, but he knows that the Romans detest kings. So he does what no one expects. In 27 BC, he renounces all power, publicly in the Senate. He returns authority to the Republic. He plays the part of a modest citizen who has fulfilled his duty. The Senate, astonished by this magnanimity, immediately implores him to remain in power. They bestow upon him a new title, Augustus. This is not just a name, it is a symbol. Augustus means exalted, sacred. Henceforth he is Gaius Julius Caesar Octavian Augustus. He acquires the title Princeps, first among equals. Not a dictator, not an emperor in the conventional sense, but ostensibly just a respected citizen who, at the behest of the people, performs a special role. Yet the reality is different. He controls the army. He controls the finances. He appoints governors. He decides who will be consul. This is no longer a republic. This is an empire. Only no one dares to call it that openly yet. Augustus embarks on a golden age. He reforms the army, finances, and courts. He constructs roads, aqueducts, and temples. He declares, "I found Rome a city of bricks and left it a city of marble." During his era, Pax Romana, the Roman peace, begins, ushering in 200 years of relative stability and prosperity. The poet Virgil composes the Aeneid, a myth of Rome's great past. Augustus supports culture, religion, and the arts. He does not merely rule. He weaves a legend around himself. But beneath this grandeur lies cold calculation. He has not forgotten how Caesar met his demise. Thus, Augustus trusts no one. He does not bequeath power explicitly, yet he orchestrates everything so that his successor will inherit Rome. He builds an empire for the ages. The boy who once spoke at his grandmother's grave now himself becomes immortal, not because he is a god, but because he made himself one. He ruled longer than anyone else. He made Rome the heart of the world. He died in his bed, and he became a god. In 14 AD, Octavian Augustus passes away in the city of Nola. He is 75 years old. He has ruled for nearly 45 years, an unprecedentedly long tenure by ancient standards. Before his death, he asks, "If the performance was good, then applaud the actor as he exits the stage." And indeed, this performance was grand. His body is solemnly transported to Rome. The people mourn. The Senate proclaims him a god, Divus Augustus. This makes him the first Roman emperor officially deified. Such was the finale. But what did he leave behind? Stability. The Roman Empire became a cohesive system, governed from the center. Provinces ceased to be distant colonies. They became parts of one vast machine. Administration. He established a bureaucracy, a professional army, and a tax system. Yes, it sounds dull, but this is precisely what made the empire resilient. Culture. Augustus created not just a political empire, but a cultural one as well. He championed literature, architecture, and science. Rome became not only a master of the sword, but also of thought. He was no saint. He engaged in repressions, manipulated events, and eliminated rivals. But he did not do this for himself. He did it for Rome, as he envisioned it. Following his death, Tiberius, his stepson, ascends to power. The empire continues to exist. Emperors change, wars flare up, but the very structure laid down by Augustus endures for centuries. Even 400 years later, when Rome falls under the onslaught of barbarians, the name of Augustus will still be remembered. Even Christians, centuries later, will mark events as occurring before and after his reign. After all, Christ was born during Augustus's rule, and it is then that the countdown to our era begins. He did not create Rome. He created its eternity. Octavian became Augustus, the man from whom the empire began.